On Thursday nights, I teach on human reason. Human reason. That's what I teach on. That's our subject on Thursday night. Ready? Yes. Okay. Our subject on Thursday night is human reasons. That is our subject on Thursday night. That is the subject. That is the subject. Anytime you begin to have a teaching, anytime you teach, you must have a subject. And our problem here in the Never Hodos ministry is as we go through the teachings, as we go through the Bible study, you guys forget the subject. The subject is the main part of the discourse. The subject. Human reason is the subject. In the subject, we have a subtopic. A subtopic or a subject in the teaching. I've been compelled to teach this because I was talking to Lolita and I was teaching my Miranda. All you need, Marita, is your Bible and your Age of Reason book. That's all I want you to have on the table. Okay. Your Bible and your Age of Reason book, everybody. Nothing else. No pencil. There will be no pencils. There will be no papers tonight. Only your Bible and your Age of Reason. That's it. The subject is human reason. That's our subject. That's what I teach on every Thursday night. In our subject, I always have a subtopic or sub-subject that's under the subject. So you got a subject, which is human reason, and you got a subtopic or sub-subject, which tonight is going to be light. L-I-G-H-T. That's our sub-subject upon the human reason. Is going to be light. So what I'm going to be teaching and discussing, subject means matter. Subject means matter of discussion. So the matter that we are going to be discussing tonight is light. That's our that's the matter that we will be discussing. That's what I'm going to be discussing tonight. Is light. So everything that I'm going to teach tonight pertains to light. If it pertains to light, there must be included, Jeremiah, by mere definition of the word light, darkness has to be there too. Because you cannot have dark, you cannot have light without darkness. There's no need for dark light if there is no darkness. So that's what we're going to be discussing tonight. We're reading out of the Age of Reason. The Age of Reason is darkness. It is not light. Human reason is not light. Human reason is darkness. This book that we are studying out of, called The Age of Reason by Thomas Paine, is not light, it's darkness. Because this is Thomas Paine's opinion. This is his opinion. And his opinion is darkness. Opinion is darkness. So we're going to begin reading in Thomas Paine's book to see what darkness looks like. So we're in the Age of Reason. We've been reading in Thomas Paine's book. We are at the Age of Reason, chapter 1. It's called The Author's Profession of Faith. So that is darkness. Author's profession of faith. When he say his profession of faith is what he believes. What he believes is darkness. What man believes is darkness. So we're going to read his profession of faith, which comes from his human reason, which is darkness. And this is what darkness is. It has been my intention. That's darkness. His intention is darkness. It has been my intention for several years past to publish my darkness, my thoughts upon religion. That's darkness. We're reading about Thomas Paine's darkness. He does not have light. My subject is light. I am well aware. I'm in the book, Cleo. I am well aware. That's darkness. Him being well aware is darkness. We're reading about Thomas Paine in darkness. So you can understand, when you are well aware, you are in darkness. When you have intentions, you are in darkness. When you have thoughts that you want to publish, you are in darkness. This is darkness. This is a picture of darkness that we're reading about. And it applies to you when you exhibit and show these same characteristics and have the same notions, ideas, opinions, thoughts, intentions, being aware, just as Thomas Paine was. That's darkness. I am well aware, that's darkness, of the difficulties that attend the subject, because he's in darkness. And from that consideration, that's darkness, had reserved to a more advanced period of life. That's darkness. Period of life is dark. That's darkness. Intended, that's darkness. It to be the last offering, I should, that's darkness. All you need, JD, is your Bible and your Thomas Paine book, nothing else on the table. You can put your bag on the floor. The last offering, I should, that's darkness. Make to my fellow citizens, that's darkness. Of all nations, that's darkness. Everything that I'm reading you is darkness. This is not light. And that at a time when the purity of the motive that induced me, that's darkness. His motive is not pure. It could not admit of a question, even by those who are in darkness, who might disapprove the word. All of that I just read you was darkness. There's no light, there's no word of God in that at all. There's no Jesus, there's no Christ in there at all. That is total darkness. The circumstance that is now taking place in France, which was darkness, of the total abolition of the whole national order of priesthood, darkness, and of everything pertaining to compulsive systems of religion, darkness. What I am reading is Thomas Paine's darkness. This is his darkness. He is in darkness. And what he is presenting to those, and what he has presented and had written in this book, is total darkness. There's no light in this at all. The total abolition of the whole national order of priesthood, of everything pertaining to compulsive systems of religion, compulsive articles of faith, has not only precipitated my intention, that means cause to happen, or accelerate, or hurry along, that is darkness, but render a work of this kind exceedingly necessary, darkness, less than the general wreck of superstition of false systems of government, that's darkness. False theology, that's darkness. We lose sight, that's darkness. Of morality, darkness, yes?
Does someone have a key to the door?
Yes, why? Who's that? Who?
Carolyn's standing out. No, I don't have
Here. One of those silver ones. One of the silver ones. Thank you, J.D. In the general wreck of superstition of false systems, all of this is darkness. What am I reading about, Mama Rhonda?
Darkness.
What is my subject?
Your subject is light.
No, it's not. What is my subject, man?
Human reason.
What's my subtopic of my subject, man?
Light.
Thank you very much. The topic, the subject is human reason. The subtopic up under human reason, Mama Rhonda, and I taught you just the other day, is life. Every Thursday I teach on human reason. Under human reason, I have a subtopic or a sub-subject, which tonight is what, JD?
Life.
Thank you very much. Everything we read in Thomas Paine is what, JD?
Dark.
Total dark. Everything he's talking about, everything he has written here is what, JD?
Dark.
Thank you very much. In the general wreck of superstition, false systems of government, false theology, we lose sight of morality, of humanity, and of the theology that is true. That is nothing but what, man?
Darkness.
Darkness. Everything I'm reading is darkness because this is his thoughts, this is his opinion, these are his ideas, this is his notion. This is total darkness. All you need, Carolyn, is your Age of Reason book and your Bible. That's all you need on the table. You don't need nothing else. I don't want you to have no pen, no paper, nothing. Your Age of Reason book and your Bible. Nothing else. No notes, no pen, no writing tonight. None. And I'm going to be reading to you why in a few minutes. Why are you doing this, preacher? I'm going to read to you why. As several of my colleagues, they in darkness, and others, that's darkness, and my fellow citizens, that's darkness. All he's talking about, Marita, is the world. And the whole world lies in what? Wickedness. The whole world lieth in wickedness. Let us turn our Bibles to 1 John. See, that's how, see, now you're going to see how I study. Now you're going to learn how to study. So see, you're not going to be able to write tonight. So we go to 1 John. So if Mixon don't get there, he just lost. Let's go to 1 John. See, he can't write tonight. He got to hurry up and get to 1 John, Mama Rhonda. Because if you don't get there and you don't read it with me, that means that light, talk to me, JD, just pass you by. That's what this thing is all about. 1 John chapter 5, and I'm in verse number 19. 1 John chapter 5, verse 19. And we know that we are of God. What are we of, Mama? Light. Light. That's the subject. She better not have said nothing else but light. What is my subtopic, JD?
Light.
Light. We are of light.
Man.
We are of light. That's my subtopic, Lolita. And including light, like I just told you, there must be darkness. Read the darkness part of that verse for me, JD.
The whole world lieth in wickedness.
That's darkness. What are we, JD?
Light.
You got light in that verse. What is light in that verse, JD?
And we know that we are of God.
That's light. What's darkness in that verse, JD?
And the whole world lieth in wickedness.
Thank you very much. So we go back to Thomas Paine's book and we see where he said, and several of my colleagues and others of my fellow citizens of France, what was that, JD?
Darkness.
That's darkness. That's the world. Have given me the example of making their voluntary and individual profession of faith. What did they give him an example of, Lolita? Lolita, you in your book?
Yeah.
What did they give him an example of? What did they give him an example of, Carolyn? Rome. What did they give him an example of, Marita? Darkness. What's my subject, JD?
The subject is human reason.
What's my subtopic, JD?
The subtopic is light.
Everything we read in the Age of Reason is what, JD?
Darkness.
Thank you very much, Lolita Platt. Please pay attention. We're going to read it again. As several, you got to follow along in the book. That's why I told you, you only need your book and the Bible. So you can follow along word for word. So you can understand what I am teaching. My subject and my subtopic. Human reason is darkness. So I'm teaching on the opposite of human reason, which would be what, JD?
Light.
Thank you very much. That's all I'm teaching on tonight. That's it, Marita. You have a hard time understanding. And we get lost, and I'm going to show you why we get lost. And everything I've been telling y'all, I read it last week. You got the book, you need to read it, but you forget. And several of my colleagues and others of my fellow citizens or friends have given me the example of making their voluntary and individual profession of faith. What did they give them an example of, Marita?
Darkness.
Darkness. I also will make my what, Marita?
Darkness.
Darkness. I'm going to give you my darkness just like they gave you their darkness. And I do this. I do what, JD?
Darkness.
I do darkness. What is darkness? When you want to give your own profession of faith, when you want to tell me what's on your mind, when you want to give me your opinion, when you want to give me your idea, when you want to tell me what you think, you want to give me darkness, I'm not interested in your darkness. I also will make mine, and I do this. And this is why people get mad, JD, because you won't listen to their, thank you very much. With all sincerity, and they sincere about their what, Lolita? Amen, because they don't have no what, mama?
No life.
Thank you very much. They sincere about their darkness. And frankness with which the mind of man communicates with itself. What does the mind of man communicate with, Carolyn? Darkness. The mind of man don't communicate with no light. When you talk to yourself, you ain't talking to nothing that's no truth. Ain't no light in there. You ain't giving us nothing but a bunch of dark. And you want us to consider and pay attention to your darkness. And ain't nobody interested in your darkness. I listen to my own darkness. What I want to hear your darkness for.
Amen.
Amen.
I believe. What is that, girl?
Darkness.
The equality of man. I believe. What is that, JD?
Darkness.
That religious duties consist in doing justice, loving mercy, endeavoring to make our fellow creatures happy. All of that ain't nothing but a bunch of what, man?
Darkness.
Darkness. Doing justice. You can't do justice. That's darkness. Loving mercy. You can't do that. That's darkness. Because the mercy you have is a carnal mercy. And the carnal man is enmity with light.
Amen.
Endeavoring to make our fellow creatures happy. When you try to make a person in your neighborhood happy or another man happy, what is you in, Carolyn? You in darkness. When you try to make your fellow man or a fellow creature happy, you are in what? And you're not walking in the what? You're not walking in life. You're not loving them. You're hating them. But lest it should be supposed that I believe many other things in addition to these, which he was in what? I share in the progress of this work, declare the things I do not what?
Believe.
And my what? Reasons, my darkness. My darkness. Your reasons for doing what you do is dark. Let me tell you why I did this, Dennis. Let me tell you why I left my book. Let me tell you why I did this. When we do that, we are in what?
Darkness.
What I say, we didn't.
We.
Thank you very much. It includes me too. Let me give you my reasons for not believing them. I do not believe in the creed professed by the Jewish church, because that's what?
Darkness.
And what he believes is what?
Darkness.
By the Roman church, that's what? And what he believes is what? By the Greek church, that's what?
Darkness.
And what he believes is what?
Darkness.
And the Turkish church, what is that? And what he believes is what? And the Protestant church, that's what? And what he believes is what?
Darkness.
Nor by any church that I know of. What church is it that he did not know of, Mama Rhonda? Mama Rhonda, before you answer, remember what the subject and the subtopic is. What church is the church he did not know of, Mama Rhonda?
He did not know the church of life.
Thank you very much. He did not know of the church of life. So simple. That's our subject. Light. It's the only answer you can give in here tonight is light. Going your human reason trying to find an answer to give to me, that's not my subject. My subject is not my subject. My subtopic is not your human reason. My subtopic is not your mind. My subtopic is not your opinion. It's not your darkness. It's not your reason. My subtopic is light. My subject is your darkness. that you always try to exhibit and show forth. I do not believe in the creed professed by the Jewish church. The Jewish church is what? What he believes is what? The Roman church is what? And what he believes is what? The Greek church is what? And what he believes is what? The Turkish church is what? And what he believes is what? The Protestant church is what? And what he believes is what? Nor by any church that I know of. What church is it that he did not know of? Church of Life. I said, what church is it? It referring back to church, did it not know of? Because you gotta say church, because it refers back to church. Amen. Hello? Amen. That's why I want you with no pencil and paper tonight so you can learn something. Amen. So you ain't got time to write. You gotta listen. So you can't write tonight. You gotta listen. You ain't got no choice tonight. See, when you got the paper and the pencil before you, you got a choice. Tonight, Carolyn.
You don't have a choice.
So I took away your crutch. You ain't got nothing to lean on now. Hello?
Amen.
You got nothing to lean on now.
No.
You got to work that mind, don't you, JD? Yes, you do. My own mind is my own what? Thank you very much. His mind in his darkness. He called his mind a what?
Church.
He called his mind a church, but his mind is nothing for what?
Darkness.
It's nothing but total darkness. See, you think your mind is your church. Your mind ain't nothing but total darkness. That's what your mind is. Amen. I'm reading to you out of the Art of Divine Contentment. The Art of Divine Contentment. Now, many of you have this book. You may have a modern version. If you got a modern version, you do not have this in it. See, you ain't got no pen. You can't write nothing down. Feel handicapped. Feel like you're missing some of your wheels. You're missing your darkness. He's talking about being content. What he using is Philippians 4:11. I've learned that whatsoever state I am in, therefore to be content. He says, I begin with the first, the scholar. The scholar. What is the Greek word for scholar, Mixon? What is the Greek word for scholar, Cleo? What is the Greek word for scholar, Lolita? I can't hear you, Lolita. What's the Greek word for scholar, Carolyn?
Mathematician.
Mathematician. See, you ain't got no pencil tonight. You can't write this down, brothers. But you got them in your notes. Oh, yes, you do, but it ain't where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be in your memory. Mathematician. So you ain't got no notes. You can't write this down. What's the word, what, JD? So you can't write this down tonight, Mixon, Cleo, Mama, Ronald, Van, the rest of it. You can't write tonight. You should know what scholar is when you see it. It's the Greek word mathetes, which means you are a disciple. I begin with the first, the disciple and his declaration. Paul is the disciple. Because he said, I have learned. What do disciples do, JD? Where at? You better not have said nothing else. You better not have said nothing in the narrow dose, man. I wish you would have said that. That ain't my subject, ain't my subtopic, ain't the narrow dose ministry. What's my subtopic, man? Life. You learn in life. Amen. My subtopic is life. So I don't want your human reason. You give me anything outside of life, you just gave me your human reason. Talk back with me. Amen. Amen. I begin with the first. The scholar and his declaration. I have learned, out of which I shall observe two things by way of paraphrase. First, the apostle does not say, I have heard that in every state I should be content. But I have learned. You don't need nothing but your Bible, because you missed the age of reason. So all you need is your Bible. You take this book off the table. Nothing but your Bible. No pen, no highlighter, nothing. All you need is your Bible. How you doing it? I'm all right. Good, good. Doctor, it is not enough for Christians to hear their duty, but they must learn their duty. That's what you're doing tonight. You are learning your duty. And what is your duty? Wrong. You don't know if you're not paying attention. What is your duty?
Learning life.
To learn in life. Life is your duty. What is your duty? Life. What is your duty? Life. What is your duty? Life. The Bible says walk in life. That's your duty. Turn your Bible first to John. Turn your Bible to John. Turn your Bible to John. Is that 1 John?
Yes.
1 John. 1 John chapter 1.
Amen.
Is it?
Yes.
1 John chapter 1,
Yes.
verse number 7. Are you there?
Amen. Amen.
Are you there?
Amen.
Are you there?
Amen.
If we walk in the light as he is in the what?
Light.
Thank you. We have fellowship one with another. The blood of Jesus Christ, his son, cleanses us from all sin. That ain't what I want. That's good, but that ain't what I want. I believe I'm going to find it in John. I believe I got it already written down. But, got the Holy Spirit. That ain't what I want. That ain't what I want. That look good, JD, but that ain't what I want. That ain't what I want. That ain't what I want. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I got it. But then let's go to it since I got it. I got it on my notes. I got it on my notes. Let's go to John chapter 12. St. John chapter 12.
Okay.
Let's go to St. John chapter 12.
Mark.
Amen.
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 Mark.
Let's look at verse number 35.
Amen.
And verse 35, read JD.
Then Jesus said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light.
Thank you very much. So, when you tell us what I'm looking for is walk while you have the light. Okay. Okay, let me see. Let's go to 1 John 1:7. I read that? Yeah.
We read that first.
Okay. All right. All right, that's good enough. All right. Now, we get right there. I need it for some more light. All I'm discussing is light. Okay. So your duty is what? Light. What is your duty?
Light.
Light. That's your duty. L-I-G-H-T. That's your duty. Duty is light. It is one thing to hear and another thing to learn, just as it is one thing to eat and another thing to cook. St. Paul was a practitioner. Christians hear much, but it is to be feared, learn little. There were 4 sorts of ground in the parable of Luke 8:5-8, and only one good ground, an emblem of this truth, that there are many hearers but few learners. There are 2 things that keep us from learning: slighting what we hear. Slight means to treat with disrespect. Treating with disrespect what we hear. And that's the word. That's all you hear from me. and you treat that with disrespect. And how do I treat it with disrespect? You don't know it. You don't learn it. So you're treating it with disrespect when you don't learn it and practice it. So you're treating it with disrespect. You in darkness. Christ is the pearl of a great price. When we disesteem this pearl, we shall never learn its value and its virtue. The gospel is a rare mystery. In one place, it is called the gospel of grace. In another, the gospel of glory. Because it's what? Light. Because in it, as in a transparent glass, the glory of God is resplendent. What is resplendent, man? Light. Light. But he who has learned to condemn this mystery will hardly ever learn to obey it. What do we obey? Light. Light is something you obey. He who looks upon the things of heaven. I say things of heaven. I say things of heaven. The things of heaven is the subjects. The subjects of heaven. See, I got your attention because you ain't right. See, I got you. That's what I want you to see all the way through here. You don't got a choice, you must pay attention. And now if you don't pay attention and get this, this is going to let you know where you stand. See, now you ain't got no cross. The subjects of heaven is the things of heaven, which be the So every time I teach you a subject of heaven, what am I giving you, Ronnie? It's so simple. This is so simple. What is the things of heaven, Lolita? This is so simple. What is the subjects of heaven, JD? This is so simple. See, I got your attention now, you can't write. So if I say the things of heaven, what I'm saying, Carol? Well, if I say the subject of heaven, what I'm saying, Carol? If I say the lights of heaven, what I'm saying, Carol? Thank you very much. So simple. See, you can't write. See, now you can't write. You can't go into what, Carol? How? What is the darkness you go into when you pick up the pencil, Carol? What is the darkness you go into when you pick up the pencil, JD? Thank you. You're not paying attention, Karen. The subject is human reason. The subtopic and the subject, Karen, is light. So if I ask you something, Karen, it got to be the opposite of light is dark. I cannot teach on light, Karen, and there be no dark. You went into your dark.
What? Oh no,
Leave that around. The gospel, what is that, JD? The gospel is a rare mystery. What is the mystery, JD? Thank you very much. The gospel of grace. What is that, Ronnie? What is grace, Ronnie? Thank you very much. What is the gospel, Ronnie? Thank you very much. The gospel is resplendent. What is that, Mama Rhonda? What is that, man? Light. The gospel of glory. What is that, Lolita? Light, because it's glory. It's glory. Glory is what? Gospel is what? Grace is what? So simple. See, you can't write the things of heaven. That's the subjects of heaven. All I teach is what, Ronnie? Thank you very much. He who looks upon the things or the subjects of heaven as things by the by, and perhaps conducting a trade or carrying on some political design to be of greater importance, that person is in what? A politician say what he is doing is more important than walking in the light. Y'all hear what I say?
Yes.
The man that think conducting a trade he got going to work is more important than the gospel. That dude is in darkness. He don't have no what? Best believe. or carried on some political desire to be of great importance than the gospel. That dude is in what? You best believe. This man is on the high road to damnation and will hardly ever learn the things of peace. What is the things of peace? What is the things of peace? What is that?
The things of heaven, the things of heaven, the lights of heaven.
Thank you very much. So you ain't got no pencil. Who will learn that which he thinks when he thinks he in what? Thank you very much. Who will learn that which he thinks is scarcely worth learning? Now, I've been telling y'all this for a long time. I taught y'all this years ago. I just picked up my book I was reading because I felt I wasn't being content. So I picked up my book and I read it. And when I read it, this is what I read it. This is what I've been telling you for the last 3 or 4 months. Forgetting what we hear. If a scholar, what is a scholar? What is a scholar? A mathematician.
Yes.
That's a mathematician.
Yes.
That's a disciple.
Yes.
If a scholar has his rules laid before him, that's what I did to you today. I laid rules before you today.
Yes.
I lay rules before you every time I teach because I want you in what?
Yes.
I don't want you sitting here in darkness, in yourselves. When you in yourself, you're in darkness. When you're following your mind, when I'm reading a passage of scripture and you take your pen and you begin writing, you just enter into what? And you miss the light that was emitting out of my mouth. So you missed the light. That's why you was in Leviticus 23 and we was in Leviticus 26. Because you enter into darkness and you start writing when you should be turning your page. So you can't hear me when you're writing because you're listening to yourself while you're in darkness. So when I ask you where I'm at, I don't know. What that scripture say? I don't know. I ain't tell you yet. Because you're in darkness. Forgetting what we hear. If a scholar has his rules laid before him and forgets them as fast as he reads them, wait a minute, preacher. That's what you tell us. We can read a scripture and in 5 seconds we don't even remember what we read. That sounds like you, preacher. It's because you in darkness. And you don't follow no rules. And the Bible told you to obey him that have the rule over you. You hate rules. What you hate? Life. You hate life. Forgetting what we hear. If a scholar has his rules laid before him and forgets them as fast as he reads them, he will never learn. Aristotle calls the memory the scribe of the soul. Bernard calls it the stomach of the soul because it has a retentive faculty. Your memory has a retentive faculty. That means it has the power or capacity of retaining what it hears. You don't need to write it. When you write it, Carolyn, you don't retain what you write. You retain, Carolyn, what you hear. You don't retain what you write. You retain what you hear. God gave you power, capacity to retain, to hold, to keep in a fixed state, to cling to, and to grasp what you hear. I was giving Mama Rhonda a drill session while we was at the doctor's office with Van, and she said, Pastor, You write. When we are writing, that light goes right past us. She said, Van remembers everything. I said, I know. I said, and you know why? She said, yeah, he don't write. When you write, you can't remember. You will not remember what you write. God didn't give you the capacity and the power to retain what you write. He gave you the power and the capacity to retain, to hold on to grasp what you hear. He did not say take heed how you write. He said take heed how you hear. Aristotle calls the memory the scribe of the soul. Bernard calls the memory the stomach of the soul, because the memory has a retentive of grasping, of keeping, of holding the memory that God put in your body, Carolyn. The memory he gave you, JD, is power in that memory. Now, the problem doesn't lie in whether the power works or not. It lies in, do you believe? Do you believe? Do you have faith? Have God given you faith to believe and retain and hold and cling to and grasp what you want? And what do you hear, JD?
Life.
Thank you very much. See, that's where the problem comes in there. Do you got the power? Has he given you the capacity to retain what you hear? And all you're going to hear is light. If you in darkness, you can forget about the what? You forget about the light. And I'm going to show you why. Let me show you why. If you're in darkness, you can forget about the light. Let's go to Psalms. Let's go to Psalms. Go to Psalms. Psalms 36. Let's go to Psalms 36. Go to Psalms 36. Go to Psalms 36. Go to Psalms 36. I said Ronnie Bowie. Did you hear what I said, Ronnie Bowie? Why I say Ronnie Bowie? Thank you very much. Ronnie Bowie, Psalms 36. Are you there, Ronnie? Ronnie?
Yeah.
Are you there, JD?
Yeah.
Are you there, man?
Amen.
Is everybody there?
Yes.
The transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, there is no fear of God before his eye. Why did the transgression of the wicked speak to me, JD?
Darkness.
I'm wrong. I said, why, Carolyn, did the transgression of the wicked speak to me?
Speak to you.
Yes.
You're the reason.
Wrong. You're not paying attention either. It says, the transgression of the wicked saith within my heart. How can a transgression of the wicked speak within my heart?
Oh, he can't because you're in light.
Thank you very much, because I'm in light. Man, I told you what the subtopic was. If you don't see darkness, then you cannot see. Transgression of the wicked is what? That's dark. He said within my heart. My heart is what? Thank you very much. I see the what in the wicked.
Darkness.
What is the darkness in the wicked? I wish I had a witness. I'm going to knock you down, JD. You do it again. The transgression, I'm in light. I say, hold on, what he's doing ain't right. How can I know that? I'm in light. Be quiet, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm telling you, he's wrong because I'm in light. So I see his transgression. I can't see in the dark. If you're in the dark, you can't see transgression. No, you cannot. The only way you can see transgression, if Ronnie drinking whiskey and I'm drinking whiskey, can I see the drunkenness in him? Hell no, I'm getting drunk too. You pay attention. What am I teaching on? Light. If I see the transgression of the wicked, the wicked is in his what? Human reason. That is what? Darkness. That's not hard. So if I see the transgression of the wicked, automatically what I see? I see darkness. That's what this book teaches, Bernie. Light and darkness. It's not hard. You watch and see. We say the transgression of the wicked. Say it. Darkness speaks. I'm in light. My heart. There is no fear of God before his eyes. He ain't got no fear of God because he in what? He flattereth himself. What he is? He flattereth himself in his own human reason. Don't he? Because he is what? Until
Darkness.
the words of his mouth is what?
Darkness.
And what else?
Darkness.
He has left off to be wise and to do. Thank you very much. He devises mischief. Why? Upon this day, he set himself in a way that is not good. What way is that? He set himself in a way that is not good. Thank you very much. What you say is life, but he said it to himself. God don't set him, he set himself. He set himself in a way that is not good. What is not good? He abhorred not evil. What do he love? Thank you. If he abhorred, if he hated not evil, he loved God.
Be loved darkness rather than light.
I ain't asked you to quote no scripture from me. But that's supposed to be on your mind. I'm going there too, Carol. I didn't say I was mad because you quoted the scripture. I didn't say I didn't need you to quote no scripture for that. But you see it because you in what? You can't see that if you don't see light. You don't know light, you can't see that men love dark. This is what men do. This is men loving darkness rather than light. They flatter themselves in their own eyes because they love their dark mind, don't they? Yeah, they love. They think they good, don't they?
They do.
Don't they?
Yes.
They want to make men happy, don't they?
Yes.
They always try to do good to their fellow creatures, don't they?
Yes.
Because they flattering themselves because they in darkness. When they flatter themselves, Marita, they want to do good to everybody, want everybody to like them because they think they in what? And all the time they in what? They in dark. Trying to make another human being happy. Make another human being like them. They in what? In dark. He devised mischief upon his bed. He set himself in a way that is not good. He abhorred not evil. What do he love? Your mercy or God's what? Light. Oh Lord, is in the what? Mercy is the subject of what? Mercy is the subject of what? Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Stop blurting out. I said subject. Don't go into your darkness. When you blurt out, you in your darkness. You think you know. When you blurt out like that, I said mercy is a subject of what? Thank you. After you learn it, then you're going to be able to retain it. You're learning how to retain it as I'm teaching it. You're supposed to be grasping it. Thy mercy, O Lord, is in the heaven. Your faithfulness, which is what? Reacheth unto the clouds. Subjects of heaven. What is the two subjects of heaven in that verse? Mercy and faithfulness. Those are the two subjects of heaven. You can close your Thomas Paine book. You should have nothing but your Bible. Y'all don't see me with it. You should have nothing but your Bible. Amen. So what is the subjects of heaven in that verse? Mercy and faithfulness. That's light. That's from the Lord. That's from the Lord. Your righteousness. That's what? That's the subject of what? It's like the great mountains. Your judgments. That's what? Because that's the subject of what? A great deep. O Lord, you preserve his man and beast. How excellent is your loving kindness, O God. Therefore the children of men put their trust under the shadow of your wings. Under what? Light. That's a reflection of light. Under the shadow of God's wings is a reflection of his light. They shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of your house. It's a house of light. You shall make them drink of the river of your pleasures in light. That's where they're going to drink it at. They're not going to drink in darkness. Verse number 9, for with you is the fountain of light, and in your light shall we see light. You see light in light.
Amen.
You can't see no light in no dark. There's only one that can see light in darkness. There's only one that can see light in darkness. God, and in whom he showed to. Now, I began teaching y'all last week on light, and we struggled through the scriptures on light. I'm teaching you again on light. God formed and made man in light, not in darkness. That's the name of this DVD. God formed man and made man in light, not darkness. He did not make man of no corrupt dust. He worked with man in light. Genesis chapter 1. You shall have nothing but your Bible. You can take your Thomas Paine book and put it in your bag. You don't need nothing but your Bible because you're going to work your Bible. Genesis chapter 1. What is my subject, J.D. Singleton?
Human race.
What is my subtopic, Carolyn Anderson? Thank you very much. In teaching on light, you cannot help but teach on what, Ronnie? Wrong. In teaching on light, you cannot help but teach on what, Marita? Because there's no need to say light if there is no what? There's no need to have a word light if there is no dark. Hello?
Amen.
Thank you very much. Genesis 1 and verse 1. Genesis 1. Genesis 1 and verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. Let's go over to 1 John. Let's go to 1 John. I said 1 John. Let's go to 1 John chapter 1. 1 John chapter 1.
Amen.
1 John chapter 1. 1 John chapter 1. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life. Let's go to John chapter 1. Let's go to John chapter 1. Let's go to John chapter 1. John chapter 1. John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light. What is the light? What is the, look at your verse. What is the light?
The light.
The light. What is the light? Thank you. The light is the light. What is the light? I don't hear Mixon. I don't hear Cleo. I don't hear Erica. I don't hear Glenn. I'm at verse number 4. In him was life. The life was the light. What is the light? Thank you. I'm at 1 John chapter 1. I'm at 1 John. I'm at 1 John. 1 John. I mean, turn your Bible, Mixon and Cleo. I said 1 John. So you can't write me down, you got to pay attention. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of what makes it? Light. Why is it light makes it? Why is it light, Michael Mixon? Why is it light, Cleo Gillette?
Because it's light.
Wrong. Why is it light, Van Whitfield? Wrong. Why is it light, Mama Rhonda? Wrong. Why is it light, Ronnie Bowie? Wrong. Why is it light, J.D. Singleton?
St. John chapter 1 verse 4.
You should have said it. You got to turn your book to it and read it. I'm looking at you. You got it there? Do you got it there? Do you got it? What you say, J.D.?
Because St. John
If you got it at St. John, I apologize if you got it at St. John. You was right. Read, Ronnie. Why is the word of life light, Ronnie?
The word of life is light because in St. John 1, verse 4, in him was life, and the life was the light.
Thank you very much. The life was the light. So, Carolyn, when we go to 1 John chapter 1, verse number 1, that which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life. Why? Because John saying St. John 1:4, the life was the light. What is my subtopic, Marita?
light.
Thank you very much. 1 John chapter 1, verse number 2, for the life or for the what, Mama Rhonda?
Life,
Why is it light, Mama Rhonda?
because because of John chapter 4, it's
Chapter 1.
chapter 1.
Slow,
verse-
take the time. Ain't in no hurry.
excuse me. Because in St. John chapter 1, verse 4, it says, in him was life, and the life was the light.
Thank you. We're at 1 John chapter 1, verse 2. For the life was manifested. What was manifested, J.D.?
Light.
And we have seen. What did they see, J.D.?
Light.
And bear witness. What did they bear witness of, J.D.?
Light.
We go back to 1 John, Ronnie Bowie. We stopped at verse number 2, Carolyn Anderson. We go back to St. John. We're going from St. John to 1 John. Hello?
Amen.
All right. What is the subject, Marita?
The subject is human reason.
What is the subtopic or subject, Marita?
Light.
So we go back to St. John chapter 1. We at verse number 6. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light. We go back to 1 John chapter 1 verse 2. It says in verse 2, for the life was manifested, and we have seen it, and bear witness, and show unto you that what, man? You lost that what, Mama Rhonda?
Eternal.
Wrong! You lost that what, Marita?
That light.
That light! You got lost again. What is our teacher, J.D.?
Light.
Why would you say eternal light? What am I teaching, J.D.?
I say eternal light.
No, I didn't hear you. No, it's not eternal light, it's light.
Okay.
We go back to verse number 7. Don't add to it. Well, it could be eternal light. We'll take eternal light. But you throw me out when you start adding words.
Okay.
Eternal life is light. No, I can't take that. Eternal life is light. No, I can't take that eternal life. No.
Okay.
Because it don't say it's eternal life, call it true life. So that's what we're going to call it, what the Bible calls it. Hello?
Amen.
Amen.
So we're back at verse number 7. St. John 1:7. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light. Go back to 1 John chapter 1 and verse number 2. For the light was manifested, we have seen it, bear witness, and show unto you that what? That light that John came to bear witness of. Talk like witness. Amen. So they bear witness of the light too, right? Amen. What are we supposed to do, y'all? What is our duty? Thank you very much. Our duty is to bear witness of the light. That's what our duty is. Our duty is to bear witness of the light. That's what our duty is. To bear witness of the light. Nobody not interested in your opinion, your ideas. Which was with the Father. It was with the Father. When was the light with the Father? When was the light with the Father, Ronnie? In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. In what? Light. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. In what? Light. That which we have seen and heard. What did they see and hear? Light. They seen and heard eternal life, which was what? Thank you. The light was manifested, which was what? Which was what? The light was manifested. Cleo and Michael Nixon, you don't even have to see the Bible to answer that question. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking all of y'all a question. Not y'all that answer. These two are not answering. They don't understand. They're reading their Bibles when I'm asking them a question. Do y'all understand? Yes. The life that was manifested was what? Yes. He don't know. He can't answer. It was light. Do it take 30 seconds to answer that? Do it take 45 seconds to answer that? Do it take 50 seconds to answer? I'm talking to y'all. Do it take 15 seconds to answer? You don't answer it because you don't know. That's why you can't answer it. I'm at 1 John chapter 1 again. I'm at 1 John Nixon, not St. John. So I told you you got to work tonight. And you're not used to this. You're not used to flipping your Bible back and forth. You used to writing. When you get used to writing, JD, you get lost. So you lost. You lost. Because you know how to read it? You can't write nothing down to look at it and go back to it. When you're supposed to be using your what? Memory to grasp this and retain it and to hold it and cleave to it. Like just like I was teaching son, read. And now you can see you're not accustomed to it. Your mind not acclimated to go to read. This is the same John. St. John is the same John and 1 John. There's only one John, Erica. This is one man saying the same thing in a different way, using different terminology. It's the same man, Lolita. It's not a different John. You with me, Ronnie? I'm in 1 John, Ronnie. I'm in chapter 1, Ronnie.
Go.
I'm going to do it again. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life. We go over to 1 John, St. John. We go to St. John. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by Him. Without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was life, and the life was the light. It said the life was the what? Light. We go over to 1 John chapter 1. It said that which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life. How do I know that is light, JD?
Because John 4 says, in him was life, and the life was the light.
Verse number 5. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Why does not the darkness comprehend light? Why is it the darkness does not comprehend light? Why is it the darkness does not comprehend light? You want to ask? I see your hand moving. You want to ask? Do you want to ask? All right, then I see your hand moving like you want to ask. Why is it the darkness does not comprehend light? I got every one of y'all. Why is it the darkness does not comprehend light? Why is it the darkness does not comprehend light? You gotta give me a scripture.
St. John 1:5.
No.
St. John chapter.
No. What'd you say, Marita?
Genesis 1:2.
No. Where you get Genesis 1:2 from, Marita? We ain't read no Genesis 1:2. See how all of y'all are in your darkness? What you got, Mama Ron?
Psalms 36.
Amen. Amen. Psalms 36 what?
1.
Wrong. Why is the darkness does not comprehend light?
Psalms 36, verse 9.
Psalms 36 verse 9. Read, Ronnie.
For with thee is the fountain of life, and thy for with thee is the fountain of life, and thy light shall we see light.
Amen. Somebody read that verse. He messed that whole verse up.
Okay,
Yes,
for
you did.
with thee is the fountain of life, and in light
Thank
shall
you.
we see light.
In light shall we see light. You cannot comprehend light and darkness. I don't know what you was reading. I don't know what you were seeing. The light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. Why? Because you cannot see light in darkness. In light shall we see light. See, your memory got to retain that. You got power and capacity to hold that, to grasp that, to cling to that. So you can't write it down. Can't write that down. It has to be written. So you can't write that down.
Amen.
That has to be written in you. So you can't grab a pencil now, mix it in Cleo. So you got to retain and remember the scriptures you read. And this is what y'all problem is in this ministry. You don't retain and you don't remember. That's why you can't learn nothing. That's why you can't learn. So what you need to do now is, now you're going to go home and get the DVD and sit down and write you some notes now. Oh, yeah. Now you can go write you some notes. Because you don't even remember those scriptures I read. You should know every scripture I read. You should be able to tell me every scripture I read tonight. You should be able to tell me every scripture I read tonight. Because I read them will pertain to light. Everything I read pertained to light. First place I started was 1 John. Then we went to John chapter 12. We read over there. See, you can't remember that. Because you used to write. You're being too much darkness. When I get the life over here, when I get the 1 John, chapter 1 verse number, chapter 1:1, when it said that which was from the beginning, that which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life. See, you can't write. You got to remember. Life, the life is the light. And that's what John said in John chapter 1 verse 4. See, you got to retain that. See, you can't write it down. You got to retain that. See, that's what I'm talking about. You got to retain that. You got to be able to go from here. You got to be able to go from here back to 1 John and tell me where is it at to read. See, that's what I'm talking about. You got to be able to go from here. You got to be able to go from here and show me in the Bible and read it where it says that the life is life. See, that's what you got to be able to do. When you learn to do that, that's when you're learning. Until you learn to do that, you don't know. when you learn this, when you see that word light, and it comes to your memory, that 1 John 1, that St. John 1:4 says, that life was the life. Then you learn something and you know. Until then, you don't know. Y'all understand what I just said?
Yes.
Well, until you know that the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not, and you know that Psalms 36:9 says, in light we shall see light. You don't know. You understand what I'm saying? You should be able to be in Jules. You should be able to ride in SCR. You should be able to tell an individual you were in darkness. While I was sitting waiting for Van, while we were sitting waiting for Van, the young lady receptionist overheard me teaching Mom. And this is what I was teaching Mom. She said, what church you go to? If you say Narrow Dose Ministry, you in darkness. If somebody asks you what church you go to, and you say the Narrow Dose Ministry, you don't know, you in darkness. I said, I am the church. I said, you the church, you don't know that? I said, come here, let me show you something. And I took her to the book of Ephesians. Husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church. She said, I go to church. I said, damn, you cheating on your man 2 times. I said, you in fornication, which is pornography. Then you come out, you go to another church, you an adulterer. Damn, you all over the place. She didn't even understand what I was saying. She said, well, this is my main church I go to. I said, the building. And then I listened to John Damn Hannah. I said, Lord have mercy. I said, you are whoring all over the place. I said, you are in total darkness. I said, because you do not even know that you have an husband, that you are the church. I said, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. I said, now it is a pronoun. It refers back to the noun or the antecedent. I said, so I'm going to read it again. Husbands, love your wife, even as Christ loved the church. I said, so who is the church? I said, who is the church? I said, the church would be equated with the wife, right? Yeah. And I said, and gave himself for it. I said, so it is a pronoun. What should it be? Oh no. I said, her. She said, I started to say that. She said, I started to say that. I said, well, why you didn't say it? I said, see, that shows you that you are in the darkness. I just brought you into light. The darkness is in you. When that light came, the darkness overpowered her. She comprehended it not, because she used to the church being a what? Building. So when the church, when it says, you the wife, she wanted to say it, but tradition, she'd been conditioned in the darkness. She wanted to say it, but she couldn't say it because it didn't agree with her what? So since it don't agree with their human reason, they think it's wrong. So anything that don't agree with your human reason, you think is wrong. Anything that don't agree with your human reason, you think is wrong. Anything that don't agree with the way you do things, you think is wrong. She said, I wanted to say that. I said, well, why didn't you? Oh, no. I said, because you've been conditioned by tradition. I said, what Jesus said, by your tradition, you make the word of God. I said, He left it alone. And I continued to teach Mom. And this is how I was teaching Mom. As long as I was teaching Mom and sitting there with Mom, 101, she got it wrong one time. My subject is human reason. Your opinion don't mean nothing. Your opinion is darkness. My subtopic that I'm teaching under human reason is light. You cannot have light if there is no darkness. So darkness must be included. So you need to learn what I'm trying to teach you tonight is how to distinguish light from darkness. And God does not work in darkness. In light we shall see light. You're not seeing, you in darkness. That's why you don't see. I didn't say that. Who said that? Who said that, Jay? David. See, did she know? That's like David said. That's who said it. David, not the Bible. David said. Then you go into your human reason, Lolita, and you say, well, ain't it in the Bible? Yeah, it's in the Bible. But who said it in the Bible? See, then you go in your human reason and say, well, it's in the Bible, ain't it? And you say that because you went what, Mama? You went darkness. And you think you got some light. Do you understand what I'm teaching tonight? I ain't through. You got to wait a while ago. Praise God. So when you see the word of life, you're supposed to see the word of life. Because that was in the beginning. Genesis 1:1 say in the beginning was God. All right, let's look at this verse over here. We at 1 John chapter 1, verse number 5. Verse number 5, this then is the message which we have heard from him and declare unto you that God is light. That's it. Eyes up, leave it alone. That God is what?
Light.
Who is that God in the beginning that created the heaven and the earth, JD? Thank you. That God is light. Who is that God that in the beginning created the heaven and earth?
Light.
Who is that God that said light be? Light.
Light.
The same God.
Amen.
That God is light. What?
In the beginning, light.
You very much. The beginning light. I'm at verse number 5 again, JD.
Okay.
This then is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you that God is light. I'm at verse number 1, Carolyn. I'm at verse number 1, Carolyn. That which was from the beginning, which we heard. What did they hear from the beginning, Carolyn? Roll! What did they hear from the beginning, Mama Rhonda? Roll! What did they hear from the beginning, Lolita?
The First John.
Roll! What? Wait, hold on. Keep my hands on this.
That's it. First John 1:5.
What did they hear?
That God is light.
Thank you. They heard 1 John 1:5. They heard that God is light. 1 John. Lost, better learn your books. 1:5. What did they hear from the beginning? That God is light. This then is the message which we have heard from him and declare unto you that God is light. That verse number 1, Carolyn, again. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard. What did they hear? That God is light.
Amen.
John 1:1. In the beginning,
Yes.
that God was what, J.D.?
Yes.
In the beginning,
Yes.
what happened, J.D.?
Yes.
In the beginning,
Yes.
in the beginning,
Yes.
Genesis 1:1, in the beginning.
In the beginning, light.
Thank you very much. That God is light. In the beginning, Marina, that God is light. John, in the beginning, light.
In the beginning, light.
Turn. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard. Verse 5, this then is the message which we have heard of him, and declare unto you that God is light. You go to Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God, light.
Light.
Same thing.
Amen.
So you can't do that, you don't know. See, now you learn your Bible. It says that God is light.
That God is light.
That's the message which we have heard. He said, heard in verse number 1, don't it? 1 John chapter 1, verse 1. Read, JD.
That which was from the beginning, which we have heard.
Stop. Then you go to 1 John chapter 1, verse 5, JD. Read.
This then is the message which we have heard
Uh-huh.
and declare unto you.
What did they hear?
That God is light.
What did they declare?
That God is light.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
So we heard it, and this is what we preach. This is what we declare unto you. We declare unto you that God is light, and in him is, they have light and never have no darkness. In him is no darkness at all. So if he formed and made Adam, and he formed and made him incorrupt dust, darkness emitted out of him. Talk back with me, y'all. Where's she going?
I gotta get cleaners and clothes.
You can't go out there by yourself like that. Do that. You don't do that. You ever do that? You ever just get up and go nowhere by yourself? You think you grown? You don't do that in here. You know better. Don't do that. You in darkness. You gonna go out in the darkness.
I
Ain't gonna take no light with you.
mean,
Hello? Verse 1. What do it say, JD?
That which was from
That which was from the beginning. Wait a minute. That, T-H-A-T. T-H-A-T, JD. That which was from the beginning. Mama Rhonda, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. You're not paying attention to your Bible. I'm finna say it. You're going to miss it. JD, that which was from the beginning. What was that?
that God is light.
See what I'm telling you? See, you will miss it. You will miss it. You will miss it. That is in verse 1, and that God is light is in verse 5. You will miss it. What is that, J.D.?
That God is light.
Go to 1 John. Go to 1 John. Go to St. John. Go to St. John. St. John. St. John chapter 1, verse 8. Read, J.D.
He was not that light.
He wasn't that what?
That God
He wasn't that God. Because that God is what, J.D.?
Light.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He wasn't that light. Verse number 9. What does it say, J.D.?
that was the true light.
What? That was the true light. So we go back to 1 John. And we go back to verse number 5. 1 John 1 verse 5. It says that God is true light.
Amen.
Then it describes what kind of light it is, don't it? Yeah, put an adjective on the true light. Call it true light. Say that. And that's what I was telling Mama Run. I kept seeing that. What is that? That God is light. What is that? God is light. What is that? True light. What is that? Light. What is that? In the beginning, God. That's what that is. That's light. You able to do that so you know. You can't do that then you don't know. You can't write that down. You got to retain that in. You understand what I'm doing? No mental exercises tonight. Ain't I Jeremiah?
Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Praise God.
Those mental exercises. You exercise your senses now. You should be able to teach somebody. Amen. Bible says, ye are the light of the world. Why? Why am I the light of the world? Why would I be the light of the world? Why would I be the light of the world? Why would Jesus said, ye are the light of the world? He told his scholars, he told his mathematics, his disciples, he said, ye are the light of the world. Why would he tell us we the light of the world? Why would Jesus tell us we are the light of the world? Why would Jesus tell us we are the light of the world? We, you and I. He said, ye are the light of the world. Why would he tell us we are the light of the world? You get out of my face, because you ain't in no scripture. You can't tell me, Cleo, get out of my face. Y'all stop looking at my face. You ain't got no scripture. You can't tell because you don't know. You got to exercise your senses. Remember what I've been speaking. You got to learn. Why would Jesus say, we are the light of the world? Why would Jesus tell us we are the light of the world?
Because in 1 John 5.
Wrong. Why would Jesus tell us we are? I said we. Jesus telling you and me, JD, said JD and Dennis, y'all two are the light of the world. Why would he tell me and you that?
1 John 5:19.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. We ain't even went there. You're not even supposed to be there. No, no.
Psalms 36 and 9.
Psalm 36 and 9. What, Ronnie?
For with thee is the fountain of life. In thy light should we see light.
I said we. In that light we shall see light. That's why he tell us we the light of the world, because we in him. You cannot see light except you are in him. Okay?
That's why in 1 John 5:19 says we know that we are of God, of light.
No, JD. I said, why would he tell us? You said God, I said light. I said light, JD Singleton. How do we know we are the light of the world? Because in light we see we are the light of the world. We cannot see we the light of the world if we're not in light. No, you can't. No, impossible. Impossible. You cannot see. Because the light shineth in darkness. Free! Darkness comprehended it not. We cannot see light except we are in light. Hello? We cannot see light. What?
1 John chapter 1 and 7
We ain't
says,
supposed to be in no 1 John 1 and 7. I told you no. I gave you the answer. Jesus said, you are the light of the world. That's what he told us in John 5. I'm going there. He said, you are, we said, you are. That's plural. And so I said, why did Jesus say, we are the light of the world? Because David said in Psalms 36 and 9, in light we shall see. We don't see that light until the Holy Spirit comes. It's when we get light. Till we born again and the Holy Spirit comes, light shine in darkness, darkness don't comprehend. It will shine. We don't know what it is. We don't comprehend what it is. We don't grasp it. We don't comprehend it. Until we in that light, we cannot see light. In light, we shall see light. Say nothing about the world. Say light. What's my subtopic? Light. Light. Say light. Go to St. John again. St. John. St. John. We had verse number 7. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light. We go back to 1 John. We go back to 1 John. Verse number 2. For the light was manifested. We have seen it. The light was light. They seen the light. They seen the light. He told them to walk while you have light. You got the light with you. We go to John chapter 9. We go to St. John chapter 9. We go to St. John chapter 9. We go to St. John chapter 9. Amen. We go to St. John. And we go to St. John chapter 9. And we look at St. John chapter 9. We look at St. John chapter 9. We look at St. John chapter 9. St. John chapter 9. St. John chapter 9 says, verse number 4, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. Man don't work in what? What do man work in? As long as I am in the world, I am the what? Oh, is I'm in the world? Is he in the world now? Is he in the world? Is he in the W-O-R-L-D now? Oh, he's not in the world now. Jesus is not down here. See, y'all slow with it. You don't want to say it because you're not sure. Let me go to John chapter 8. See, you don't want to say it because you're not sure. And I don't want to be wrong because I truly don't know. I don't know. I really don't know if he's here or not. That's because your light is dim. So we go to John chapter 8. We go to John chapter 8. And in John chapter 8, verse number 12, then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. That's the same thing you just said in John chapter 1. You go back to John chapter 1, I keep telling y'all, you go back to John chapter 1, when you're able to do this, then you know. You go back to John chapter 1 and you go to verse number 4. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. You go to John 8:12, and what does it say? What does John 8:12 say, JD?
Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
We go to 1 John, JD chapter 1 and verse number 1. Read.
Verse number 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All the way down. You said St. John? Or
No, I said 1 John.
I'm sorry.
Right? 1 John chapter 1, I thought I did.
Amen. That which was from the beginning, that which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled, of the word of life.
Well, how do we know that's the word? How do we know that word life pertains to life, JD? How do we know that?
Because of St. John 1:4, the life was the light, and because of St. John 8:12, but shall have the light of life.
Thank you very much. When you're able to do that, then you know your lost leaks. And I know, because so you can't flip that thing. So you don't see it. See, that's what I'm telling you. See, you used to write. See, you would have wrote it down. And then you would have had it. But now you can't write it down, Marita. So you show me, Marita, since you sitting there, you smiling. What is life? Show me life, Marita. Show me life. Show me life, Marita. Show me life. I'll get you too, fast, because you should know too. See? You can't write nothing now. Show me, Marita.
Life is John 1:4.
Speak up so I can hear you, Marita.
Life is John 1:4.
Okay.
In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And also life is John 8:12. Then Jesus spake again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have life. Also, St. John 9:5. As long as I am in the world, no, that's not right. Light.
Well, you missed one. One more. Help out, JD.
1 John 1:1.
1 John 1:1. Amen. 1 John 1:1.
That which was from the beginning,
Okay.
which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life.
Thank you very much. Life is what, JD?
Life.
What is life, JD?
Life.
Thank you very much. If life is life, JD, come back there. Okay, this mic just came in. JD, if life is life, what is darkness? If life, hey! That's dark! How you take boy that? He knew that.
He moved the camera.
He moved the camera. If light, you cannot have light without darkness. You cannot have life without death. Some of you sitting here, you're dead. You ain't got no life. You ain't got life. I don't understand. Can't flip mine, just gone. But you know what? You in your human reason all the time. So I can ask some of you, and I'm not going to embarrass you like that. You could not do what Jesse Marita did. Until you're able to do that, then you know you know. Until then, you don't know. All you got is a bunch of all go to notes. See, you ain't got no notes to refer to. You got to hit them scriptures. You got to read. That's the only way you're going to get this. You got to read. And you got to retain what you read. What is that God? You, what is that God? I'm talking to you. I said, what is that God? See, you're supposed to be in your memory. You didn't retain it. You didn't grasp it when you read it. Y'all show him what that God is. And tell him where's it at.
1 John 1:5.
Read, Mixon, 1 John 1:5 so you can know what that God is.
This then is the message which we have heard from him, declare unto you that God is light.
That's all you need to know. I asked you, what is that God? You're supposed to tell me that God is light. You can't tell me what that God is. God is light. That God is light. What do we bear witness of, JD? What do we bear witness of, Carol?
The light, God.
We bear witness of the light. We bear witness of that God is light. We bear witness of that God. That's what we bear witness of, light. We bear witness of that God is light. But he still ain't grasping, JD. Don't understand that he is the light of life. That's what it told us in John 8:12, didn't it?
Amen.
You can't write this down. You gotta read it, Mama Rhonda. John 8:12, read, JD.
Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
John 9:5, read, Carolyn. John 9:5, Carolyn. So you can't write this down. You gotta flip Nixon. John 9:5, Carolyn.
As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world.
John 11:9, Lolita. St. John 11:9.
Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbles not, because he seeth the light of this world.
Matthew 5:14. Matthew 5:14. Matthew 5:14. Matthew 5:14.
Amen.
Read, JD.
Ye are the light of the world,
Why, JD? Why you the light of the world, JD?
because in thy light.
Ah, come on, JD.
Psalms 36:9.
Thank you.
Sorry, Psalms 36:9.
Thank you. Psalms 36:9. Because they don't know, JD. Psalms 36:9. Read, JD.
For with thee is the fountain of life. In thy light shall we see light.
And go ahead. So Matthew 5:14 says what, JD?
Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid.
What you don't hide, Carolyn? Because when you said, let me say. A city that's set on a hill cannot be in what, Jeremiah? A city that is set on a hill, Jeremiah, cannot be in what? Thank you. Go slow with you and your mama slow with you.
Sorry.
Isaiah 2:5. Isaiah 2:5. Isaiah 2:5. Isaiah 2:5.
Amen.
Amen.
Read, Mama Run.
O house of Jacob, come ye. Let us walk in the light.
Why? Because where was Jacob at?
He was in light.
Bro, where was Jacob at, JD? Isaiah 2:5. Where was Jacob at? Van? Why? How you know he was dark? How you know he in dark? You ain't the scripture, man. How you know he in dark? Say, I don't understand the scripture. Because he asked him to walk in light. Read, JD.
O house of Jacob,
Uh-huh.
come ye.
Come. Come out. Come from where?
Darkness.
Thank you.
let us walk in.
I keep telling you, you can't have dark light. You can't. You see light, darkness must be there.
Amen.
Read it again, JD.
O house of Jacob,
Come on.
come ye,
Come from where?
darkness
Say, come ye. Where are you at?
and darkness, and let us
Let us what?
walk in the light of the Lord.
Thank you very much. Because you in what, Jacob?
He's in darkness.
Yeah, Jacob. He said, come ye.
Yes.
Let us walk.
In the light of
And, oh, you got it now. Isaiah 2:5, Mama Rhonda.
Isaiah 2:5. O house of Jacob, come ye, let us walk in the light of the Lord.
Proverbs 16:15. Proverbs 16:15.
Man.
Proverbs 16:15.
Yeah.
Amen.
Read.
In the light of the king's countenance is light, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain.
Wow! He's a fountain of life. Read it again.
In the light of the king's countenance.
All right, in the light, JD, in the light of the king's countenance is what? In the light of the king's countenance is what? In the light of the king's countenance. What you laughing at, Mikey? Do you know? You laughing like you know. There you go. Mike, in the light of the king's countenance is what? I can't hear you. Thank you. In the light of the king's countenance is life. Back to John 8:12 and 9 and 5. 8:12. 8:12.
Amen.
Read.
Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
Thank you very much. You gonna have what?
The light of life.
Then when we read else 9:12, you gonna have the light of 9:5?
Lord.
Huh?
As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. So is 9:5.
And 9:12 is the one with light. 8:12 is the one with the light of life. We go back to Proverbs 16:15. Proverbs 16:15. Read, Mama Ron.
In the light of the king's countenance is life.
Thank you, because that's the light of what?
Light.
You light of life. Where you getting world from? Where'd you at? Where'd you get that from? Read 8:12 again, JD. 8:12, JD.
8:12.
8:12.
Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
The light of life. Now you go back to 16:15. The light of life. Read.
In the light of the king's countenance is life.
Thank you very much. The light of life. You got both of them in that verse. You go back to number 12, you got the word life. He's not in the world no more. He's not here.
No.
Shall have the light of life. In the light of the king's countenance there is light. It don't say no in the world. It don't say no world.
No.
It don't say no in the light of the king's countenance. That means his presence, his light. Not in the world.
No.
It's in the light. Life is in his presence.
Yeah.
The king's countenance. His favor is as a cloud of the latter rain. You go to Psalms 36:9. He's the fountain of life. Correct? All right then. So we're looking at the light of the king's countenance in life. We go to 8:12. We go to 8:12. John 8:12. We go to John 8, verse 12. I am the light of the world. He that follows me shall not walk in dark. He's not in the world right now. So right now he's not the light of the world.
Right.
Because he told us, and that's where everybody get messed up at. That's where everybody get messed up at. Because they remember that one verse.
Amen.
And then you go to St. John. That's where everybody get messed up at. They forget 9:5. 9:5. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. He's not in the world no more, so he can't be the light.
Amen.
See, everybody remember 8:12,
Yes.
but don't nobody remember 9:5, JD.
No.
Everybody remember 8:12, but don't nobody remember 9:5. Everybody remember 8:12, but don't nobody remember 9:5. He's not the light of the world. Matthew 5:14 says, ye are the light of the world.
Amen.
He said, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. He said, I am the light of the world. He that follow me shall not be in darkness, he shall be in the light of life. Then, in chapter 9, he tells you what he means in chapter 8. Because he said, y'all ain't getting as long as I am in the world. Once I leave,
He's no longer the
you in
light.
darkness. Once I leave, you in darkness. We are not in darkness. Why? Because we in the light. In God's light shall we see light. We are in the light. We the light of the world. We're not in darkness. He called us out of darkness into the marvelous light. He chose us out of this world. We are in a kingdom of light. Hello?
Amen.
Let's go back to John 8:12. Those are two verses y'all got to remember. John 8:12. Read, JD.
Then Jesus spake again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
And then you go to John 9:5.
Amen.
Read, JD.
As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world.
Thank you very much. Then you go to 5:14. Then you go to 5:14.
It's all in the word.
Then you go to John 5:14.
Word.
Now, Matthew.
Matthew, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Matthew 5:14.
Amen. Ye are the light of the world, a city that is set on a hill and not be hid.
Thank you very much. Only way that city is hid is what? It's in darkness. There's the word hid. You're not going to find light without darkness. Hello?
Amen.
Amen. Cannot be in darkness.
Proverbs 16:15. Read, Mama Rhonda, Proverbs 16. Read, somebody.
Okay, I got it. In the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain.
That means stop the light. Psalms 90 and 8. Psalms 90 and 8. Psalms 90 and 8. Psalms 90 and 8.
Amen.
Read.
Thou hast set our iniquities before thee,
Set out what?
darkness.
Go ahead.
Thou hast set our iniquities before thee, our secret sins in the light of thy countenance.
So we got what now? Carolyn lost. What we got now, Mama Rhonda?
We have darkness.
No, you lost too. What do we have? Y'all lost, right?
The light of God.
What do you say, Carolyn?
The light of God.
No, you lost. Life. Thank you, Michael. With life, you got to have life. With life, you got life. Go back to John 8, number 12. Go back to John 8:12. John 8:12. I'm waiting. Read.
Again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
When is Jesus the light of the world, Cleo?
Let's say it again.
When is Jesus the light of the world, Cleo?
Word.
Here, when he's here.
You don't know. Mama Rhonda, do you know?
Yes.
When is Jesus the light of the world.
As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world.
Why are you reading that?
I'm reading from St. John, chapter 9, verse 5.
Thank you very much. You see, that's what y'all got to do. See, you ain't got no pen.
Word.
Psalms 90 and 8, Carolyn. Psalms 90 and 8.
Thou hast set our iniquities before thee,
What he said before him?
darkness,
When he said our iniquities before him, he said our iniquities before what, Carolyn?
light.
Thank you.
Our secret sins in the light of thy countenance,
In the light of his what?
life.
Thank you very much. 89:15. Psalms 89:15. Psalms 89:15.
Amen.
Read, Mama Ron.
Blessed is the people that know the joyful sound. They shall walk, O Lord, in the light of thy countenance.
What they gonna have in that light of the countenance?
They're going to have light.
What they gonna have, Carolyn?
Light.
Light. Mama Ron, to go back to 8:12. You keep forgetting. John 8:12. Read.
Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
Thank you very much. Psalms 89:15, Carolyn.
Blessed is the people that know the joyful sound. They shall walk, O Lord, in the light of thy countenance.
What they gonna have, Carolyn?
Light.
Thank you very much. Psalms 44:3. How slow you is, Nixon. I told you, son, you can't write tonight. You gotta go watch the DVD, brother. Why you holding all the places in your Bible you and me? Y'all holding all the places so you won't lose them because you don't know. Think you slick? It ain't gonna help you. It ain't gonna help you holding all them. You can't hold all these scriptures I got up here. Let me just put that in your mind right now so y'all can try to stop holding all them places in your Bible. I got too many.
You don't have enough fingers.
And your mind don't work that fast, so stop tricking yourself. Come out of that darkness. That darkness is telling you, hold your place there. When he go back, you'll be able to get it. That's darkness. That's human reason. I keep telling you, y'all don't understand as you try it. It's not going to work. Psalm 44:3. Read, Jenny.
Amen.
Read.
For they got not the
I can't hear it.
For they got not the land in possession by their own sword,
By their own what?
darkness.
Thank you.
Neither did their own arm save them,
Thank you.
but thy right hand, light, and thine arm, and the light of thy countenance, because thou hadst favor unto them.
Thank you very much. He gave them what?
Light.
He gave them what?
Light.
Thank you. He gave them the law. He gave them life. He gave them life. In the light of his countenance, his presence. Psalms 4 and 6.
Amen.
Read.
There be many that say, who will show us any good? Lord, lift thou up the light of thy countenance upon us.
Give us what?
Light.